All right, we're up.
Finally, like 6 years later, we get it together.
Every night for the last 7 days, we've said we're going to podcast. And then by the time I get the kids in bed and you're working, we're way too exhausted to do so. So we set a time and a date, and here we are.
Finally. We're treating it like a business. Look at us, adulting.
We put it on the books. So, welcome to the Self-Informed Podcast. We're not experts, just two people trying to figure out what the heck is going on out there. Self-informed is our way of learning in public about the world, ourselves, and how to raise kids who can think for themselves.
We're still learning that ourselves.
It's an ongoing process, really. But our kids have the jump start. They're learning how to think for themselves at a young age, which truly would have benefited us.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Growing up, always being told what to do, not
How to think.
How to think or how to do it is, yeah, kind of a detriment to our learning in general, really.
I've noticed lately that, like in my observations, it's been really cool actually to see where the kids have come or how far the kids have come. So we have a 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old, and then a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old. And it feels like over the last year, like they have just started to really come into their own. Like the conversations that I have with them throughout the day about like their mindset and just kind of how they view money and stuff. Like it's really amazing. I have to stop every now and then and remind myself, like, you're only 7. And we're
Yeah.
having, like, they understand things on a grander realm than, like, most adults do that we talk to.
Yeah.
They really are my little best friends now.
It's interesting what can happen when you stop treating a child like a dumb child and like a living, breathing human being.
That's one thing that we've always been good at, I feel like. But it is tricky sometimes to, like, you have to take a larger concept and kind of rephrase it and use words that they understand. But overall, they've always just kind of really gotten it.
That's one thing that I struggle with, mostly with Winnie, where, I mean, as far as 3-year-olds go, she's super advanced with her thought process and
Oh my God.
just how she talks and how much she understands, but she's also still 3 and cannot regulate her frontal lobe in any way, shape, or form. So when she gets frustrated about something, I'm just like, come on, you know how to do this. But she's also,
You have to remind
I have,
yourself.
well, you have to remind me. You're really good at that. You have to kind of step back and look at it like she's 3. She doesn't have the frontal lobe developed yet. And, you know, just being sleepy can really derail her entire thought process. I mean, on a far more grander scale than it does us. And it really derails ours sometimes too.
She's so good though, usually about like when she's tired, she just says, "Hey, I'm tired. Let's go to bed now." I know adults that can't even do that. And the other two never really vocalized it, but she has always just known, this is what I need, this is what I want, let's go make it happen.
Part of that's on us though, because we've given her the space and the freedom to feel comfortable and to come forward and talk to us about that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Like could you imagine at 3 going up, or any childhood age, going up to our parents and saying, "Hey, I need to go rest." No, we're in the middle of, it's cleaning day. You have to clean the toilet or whatever it is. Like they would dismiss any needs that we have because they didn't align with their wants from us at the time.
And that in turn kind of taught us that we shouldn't be listening to our own body. We can't listen to our own body. There's other things that need to be done. We have to push through. Like, I remember growing up, like, rest was kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
If you needed rest, or when I worked a freaking night job, I worked like third shift kind of. And
Toppers. Shout out Toppers.
Tapper's Pizza. So when I was working third shift, like I wasn't getting home until like 4 o'clock in the morning ish or around there. So naturally, you like need to sleep, but I was still at my parents' house or back at my parents' house for a little while, and they still didn't like comprehend. They would still be like trying to wake me up at 7 o'clock in the morning and
Yep.
like judging me for sleeping all day because it was just, I don't know. They weren't open-minded to, hey, there's other schedules out there, other wants and needs besides your own.
Yep.
It was always like, well, you're in our house, so you have to abide by our rules, no matter how old you are.
Exactly. So, all that to say, good job. We
made it.
We allow our kids to focus on and be comfortable with sharing their needs. And we understand that they have needs, and we allow them to express that, and we always do our best to prioritize their needs, even though sometimes it's not really easy.
It's not.
But, you know,
I feel like this would be a good talking point or starting point to kind of just talk about our year. First of all, it's already November.
Yeah, what the heck?
I don't know how that's even possible. Thanksgiving is literally within a week or two. Christmas is around the corner.
Yep.
And I don't know where the last year has gone, but at the same time, I feel like we've lived 10 lifetimes in the last year.
I mean, we really have. We've done more in the last 8 months than some people have done in their entire lifetime.
It's been, so like 1 year ago is when, actually prior to Thanksgiving, we were still nervous about telling everybody that we were planning on leaving the country and traveling and exploring. And I remember Thanksgiving is when Malcolm accidentally spilled the beans before we were ready.
Yep.
But it kind of got the ball rolling. It's just wild to think, though, that it's been almost a year since these conversations started. And people probably still think we're crazy a little bit, but I think they've kind of accepted the fact that we're going to do finally what we want to do.
People may think we're crazy, but don't let that distract you from the fact that a lot of the people that we talk to, a lot of the people that I talk to at my job and just out in the wild, like, it opens their eyes. Like, oh, I would love to do that, or that's so cool.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot more of that now.
Which is awesome.
Also, I would like to ask you the question, or at least bring up the point, like, going back to a year ago, how nervous we were and self-conscious we were about telling people of our upcoming lifestyle changes. How would you feel, or I don't know, I guess I'm having a hard time finding the words for the question, but I think it, like, now, going through all of that and everything we've been through, I have no reservations about speaking how I feel now.
Yeah.
Like, I would have no problem going up to someone and saying, hey, we're doing this, or this is what we're doing now, or whatever it is. Like, I was so hesitant to tell my parents that we were leaving the country, but now it would just be like a drop in the bucket. Like, yeah, we're doing this now.
We've definitely found our voice, and we've
there you go.
Gotten a lot better at not only voicing like our boundaries, but just recognizing them up front and right away. Like, when things come up, now that we're kind of back in our hometown area, so we're back in our old circles, if you will, and just for the winter. But a lot has come up for us in a way, as far as like old, the ghosts of our past and everything that we left, we've basically just stepped back into just as new versions of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when stories come up or drama comes up or whatever it is, we've gotten a lot better at saying, nope, that doesn't work for us. And then just kind of carrying on and not letting it like take over all of my mental capacity or stressing or worrying about it or even worrying about how the other people feel. It's not my responsibility to take care of other people's emotions, but it is my responsibility to take care of my own mental
Yep.
health and then to make sure my family is safe and thriving and whatever that looks like for us in the moment. But being able to express those boundaries has been cool, I guess. Like I noticed it the
It
other
feels
day.
good.
Yeah, it feels really good. There's been situations that come up where like when it comes to work specifically. So with our new routine for the winter, you are gone all day again. Like it's kind of like a flashback to our own life, old life, if you will. Like you go, you step out, you picked up a side hustle just to kind of earn some money for the winter. So you go back into the corporate world. But that leaves me back with the kids all day long. And then when it comes to like editing and running the photography side of the business, that I don't really get to start any of that work until you get home. So like 4 o'clock. So what I noticed right away is like people just blow up your phone. Like you get emails, notifications, messages. Everyone needs something from you at all times. And I used to be available for that. But now, within like the last week, I realized that isn't working. That drives me crazy all day long because then my head is divided and I can't really like fully engage with the kids and
Yep.
I become angry mom.
You don't thrive when your brain is in several places at the same time.
Yeah.
That's just you would rather focus on one thing fully than a bunch of things half-assed.
So I've kind of just decided that I, for the most part, keep my phone either off or in the kitchen just so I can't hear it, keep all the notifications off until about 4 o'clock. And then that's when I'm available for clients and stuff, which I know is, on one hand, it's odd because you're supposed to be available during the day for people to reach you. But at the same time, that's what works for us. And that's kind of the whole point of all of this is like building a life that works for us.
Mm-hmm.
I can't split my attention to both clients and children, family, evenly throughout the day. So just by saying my clients don't have full access to me throughout the day really helps. But once I made that mental shift, I was like, oh, that actually feels really good. I used to think like I had to keep up and respond right away because that's kind of the culture that we're in with these cell phones and
Mm-hmm.
just all people shouldn't always have access to you. Like
Think of how it was in the early 2000s or the late 90s. Like nothing was instant.
No.
It took you 10 minutes to connect to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could send an email and you may not hear back for days. So yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like you've found a stride with what works best for you mentally. And that is what this is all about. Our finding what works for us and picking a lane to thrive in.
Mm-hmm. And it feels good. We've been able to set all kinds of boundaries. But like you said, a year ago, we were scared shitless to just say, hey, we're going to just hop on a plane and travel. And
Yep.
I remember everything was like so secretive and we didn't know when to tell people or how to tell people. And part of it was we were living in central Wisconsin. So we were 2 hours away from family anyway.
We were already separated.
Yeah. So finding a time to like actually meet up with everyone and get together and all of that. But back then, I think we still felt more like children ourselves, where we felt like we owed other people an explanation for our lives or what we were doing. It's like we were still needing their approval.
Yeah.
And now we finally kind of feel like adults. So now it's like, fuck it.
I think
do what I want.
That's the millennial curse, though. Constantly feeling like you need to explain yourself and constantly feeling like an immature adult or just a child in general. I mean, that's who we are, but not anymore. Millennials, you don't have to feel this way.
And
Fuck
maybe
it. You don't have to feel like you have to explain yourself to anybody else. You
No.
don't owe people that. It's not required.
No. And I stand by the fact that no is a full sentence. Like, just no. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to over explain. You don't have to be a people pleaser. You can just say, no, thank you. That's it.
Yep.
And they will accept it because that's the way it is.
Or they won't, but that's not your worry to regulate their emotions. You need to focus on yours. But that kind of sparks my memory of a conversation I had with my dad in Plover. I was on the patio.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he said, I hope you know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah.
And I don't really know where I'm going with it, but it just came to my head. And I was kind of shocked he said that. But
it was the way he said it. Like, I hope you fucking know what you're doing. There was no support. There was no... It was
an expectation of failure.
Yeah.
And
that's
I don't know.
Kind of been the theme all around. There have been very few in our old circle that were like, hey, how can we help you? This is cool. Or there was very few people that actually tried to even understand our decision and understand our why and the drive behind what it was that we were trying to do or accomplish. And I think that whole experience really, I don't want to say opened our eyes because we kind of knew that, but it really brought it all to the forefront. Like, we could no longer run from or ignore the fact that we were living our lives for other people and we don't have full support. We don't have that village.
No.
And instead of sitting around and waiting for that village, we finally gave ourselves permission to just go find it.
I think our old circle's idea of support is money.
Mm-hmm.
Not just having a safe place to have a conversation or,
yeah,
hey, how are you? Anything like that. It's, oh, I bet you're broke, or I bet you, do you need money? You know, that's not always the case. That's not what support is.
Right.
Is it a part of it? Yeah, I guess, but that's not what support is. There's a lot more to it than just financials. But here we are.
Still making it work.
Even though we're back in our old energy and old circle, it's like you said, we are new versions of ourselves. None of this feels familiar to me, even though we're back in the same place we were for up until we moved to Plover, our whole lives, basically.
We are, but it's also a little different. So we are in a part of the town that I used to like kind of avoid the north side, honestly. It always just had this stigma of like, that's the north side of La Crosse. Kind of all of La Crosse has a stigma, but it all worked out the way that it did. We found a short-term rental for the winter so we could stay warm, get out of the camper that we were in. That was getting pretty cold.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. Where we ended up, though, is kind of centralized. So, like, there's resources around us. We could walk to the laundromat just down the road. If we absolutely had to go to Quick Trip, it's on the other side.
Yep.
So, like, that kind of support feels good for us, especially with you being gone with the car all day. Knowing that the kids and I have the resources and even access to the bus to get around if we wanted to. That all feels really good. But the one thing that I've really started doing is like just kind of going out and exploring. And like the kids and I go for a walk almost every day. And I've really noticed that I thought it would just be in Mexico or other countries that we go to where we don't have a car at all that we would feel this. But even in our old hometown, walking around, traveling by foot versus in a car all the time really kind of opens your eyes to see things in a new way or from a different angle or literally like a different light. And so I've, like we've walked by all these shops that I never actually ever stopped to look at because we just drive by them before.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see all these really cool things, unique things, and even just the houses. Like,
there's some pretty cool houses around here.
There are.
They
And
may be
it's-
old as dirt, but they all have character. There's a story about each one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So we're making the most of.
You've literally, I mean, but mostly you, because I'm gone all day, but you've embodied the slowdown.
Mm.
You can slow down in more aspect than just one.
Yeah.
And you can really start to see the charm around you, and it really opens your eyes. Like, I haven't done nearly as much walking around this area as you have, but when I do, it really feels like an adventure.
It does.
Which sounds silly to say, but like I never really felt this when we would go for walks when we lived in Alaska.
No.
That was more, I don't know. I don't really
That
know
felt
what the word
more
is.
transactional. Like,
Yeah,
I have to go for a walk because it's time for a walk. Or
yeah.
I just need to get out of the house. But this is, like you said, it's more exploring.
Yeah.
And I think that has actually been, I know we didn't want to be here for the winter, but in a way, it's kind of refreshing in a way to know that, like, even if you don't have the funds or the PTO or whatever the time frame to go take big vacations or big travels, like, you can still find little microwaves.
Microwaves.
You can still find small ways to get around and just kind of like take a mini vacation in your own town, if you will.
It's all about the mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what you're saying. A vacation isn't necessarily about going to a destination. It's about slowing down and having the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I know. I've thought a lot lately because there's nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to do.
Can't drive around.
I have been thinking about taking the bus to work.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
I don't really understand bus routes, but from what if I'm correct, the bus stop that's right by our house actually goes to
Walmart.
Yeah.
I think going back to what you were saying as far as like we're viewing it all differently now or from a different mindset. Prior to us actually going to Mexico, even, I don't ever remember a time when I considered taking the bus. Like, it was always there was a stigma around it, the city bus, like in our area. I know in New York or whatever, like the subway, it's the only way to get around basically. But in our area, everything is designed for you to drive. And if you don't drive and you take the city bus, then it's kind of frowned upon. Like, that's for people that don't have cars.
Yeah.
But now,
this is for losers.
I wasn't going to say that, but now that I'm more
joking.
Now that
It's
I'm more
not.
cultured, I'm actually kind of excited to take the kids, partially just for it's an adventure, really. I know people use it for real, like to get to work, and like
it's there for a reason. I mean,
yeah.
In Mexico, we took the Colectivo,
Exactly,
which is simply put like a city bus, but on a far less grand scale,
less structured.
You're just
It's a wild card.
in a van going down the highway.
100 miles an hour.
This is far more structured.
And if once we go to, it's 11:11. Once we go to like other countries and stuff too, we're always going to be taking public transportation for the most part.
Yeah.
To get around.
So in other words, we've trained for this.
We have. And so it's been nice to like come back and not be so judgmental, like to be more open-minded.
Yeah.
Mexico was good for us. I knew it.
In a lot of different ways, really. I mean, yeah, it was hot and it was kind of miserable sometimes, but there's a lot of lessons that we learned, and it kind of helped us reframe everything, really. So there's that.
There is that. What's one of the things that you miss about Mexico?
I don't know, maybe the sense of freedom. Like everywhere we went, every single place we went to was an adventure. Everything felt like an adventure. Now, I know we just talked, that's kind of how we're treating it here now, but like even just walking to the gas station to get water, it was a big adventure for me. Everything felt foreign, but it was, I don't know. I do miss swimming every day.
Yep. That's what I was going to say.
That was nice. I was trying not to be so simple about it. I was trying to go deep.
But that was a big part of our lives for like a whole month.
Yeah.
Literally just swimming. 2 months, actually.
Yeah.
Because for a while when the power went out.
That was the only way to cool down.
That was our only means for survival.
But I don't know. It kind of forced us to slow down because even just going get groceries.
Markedito.
It was, or even to Soriana or wherever it was I went that time. We had to plan in advance. We had to really slow down and just accept the fact that I can't just get in our truck and drive there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a little overwhelming at first because new things for millennials are always scary as shit. But once I kind of got into a groove with it, I really enjoyed that. Like, it made me appreciate being able to provide those things more. Then it felt less transactional. Like, oh, I'm just going to go to Walmart and pick up some groceries. It was more like, I get to go to town to get groceries today. It was kind of the big project or the big plan for the day was going to the grocery store.
Yeah, I could see that. But for me, from my perspective, in my mindset, I appreciate the slowing down part, but going to the store because you can only carry so much, it was like an everyday or every other day thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I got frustrated because I'm like, I could be working, I could be doing other things, and I'm getting interrupted, and I now have to spend 3 hours in the heat walking to the store, trying to figure out how much I can carry back, just hoping your credit card doesn't or the bank doesn't randomly go, oh, you're out of the country and cancel everything or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what could happen. So for me, I did not care for that part. I really missed the car. I missed the convenience. I tried to really like it and to accept it. But like I said, I don't know if it's the American in me or just, I don't know. But I had other things that I needed to be doing and I couldn't do them because survival came first.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
And then when the power went out, all hell broke loose, and that was survival mode at its finest.
I can't believe we lasted a whole week. I just thought of that the other day.
Sucked.
In order to charge our phones, we had to walk down to the Mercadito and just sit there and try to steal their power, basically.
Yep.
Which was half a mile. Oh, it was a mile.
Yeah, it was probably either a half or a little less. But still, in that heat, it felt like 10 miles.
And it was more so just sitting there at the wherever you could find an outlet, basically. Yeah. I was just plugging my phone in and everybody's looking at you like, what were you doing? I didn't care for that.
No.
But we made it. We did it. I think the biggest thing for us over this last year is we've really become resourceful.
We've learned the art of adapting very, very well. And part of that kind of played into or helped us when we started camping. We really got to be adaptable because we would wake up in a new state or a new city almost every week.
Mm-hmm.
And
it
didn't, yeah, I know. It didn't take long for us to really find a groove with that, but I think when the power went out in the jungle, that really kind of jump-started our adaptability and our our ability to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, if the power hadn't gone out, we would have completely missed out on Cancun and swimming every day
Mm-hmm.
for hours and hours a day. And we would have settled into the point where everything would have just felt like daily life.
Right.
And we found a place in Cancun and we moved there, or whatever you want to call it, relocated. And that really sparked everything for us to get to where we are now. So, unfortunately, those people passed away in that car crash that caused the power to go out. But
yeah.
their lives weren't lost in vain, I guess. They helped us. Rest in peace, whoever you were. But anyway, everything's happening for a reason, whether you're aware of it or not.
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't, for me, it usually doesn't make sense in the moment. It's always in hindsight when I put it all together.
Yeah, very rarely
yes.
are you able to process something that quickly, but
You just have to have a lot of trust and faith that everything is working out. Even going into this winter. So we, as traveling photographers, have kind of just gone where the jobs have taken us, basically, or that was the plan.
yeah.
And it's felt like as soon as we left the country, all of a sudden, everybody from all of our old contacts from lacrosse were calling and like, hey,
Come back.
Can you come work for us? Can you come work for us? So we ended up just saying yes, because we were in the mindset of saying yes. We ended up just saying yes to what felt right to jobs in the lacrosse area. And we pushed it off for a while as far as like figuring out how it was all going to work out. Initially, I think it was just like one or two jobs. So we're like, oh, it's fine. We'll still have time to like figure out how to get back down south with a camper. And then the jobs kind of piled on a little bit more, but it was all spaced out to where it didn't make sense to drive back and forth to Florida or wherever or fly even. So that's how we ended up basically staying 6 months in Wisconsin once again for winter. I've already seen snowfall. I'm not a fan of that, but where was I going with this? What was I talking about?
I don't know.
That's how we got here.
Yeah.
Short recap.
It may not have been what we envisioned or truly wanted, but we accepted that this is where we need to be for the short term.
Yeah. Initially, in my brain, I assumed like we're going to go down south, we're going to figure that out. But the children are fighting. I hope you can't hear that.
I'm sure they can, but it's okay. We have kids.
3 of them.
Deal with it.
They're loud. So when this all came about, this is where I was going. When it all came about that we were finally like, okay, we're probably going to end up settling here for 6 months. At first, I was a little bummed because that was not the plan.
Yep.
But then I realized after I took some couple of days to sit with it, I realized that with the camper that we have, there's some things that we wanted to adjust and change and kind of remodel, if you will, anyway. Optimize. And at the same time, it kind of felt like we were drowning a little bit in backlog work and just trying to figure out a schedule or a routine. So then after some contemplation, it kind of hit me that taking the next 6 months to slow down even more and to get caught back up, to like actually get settled into like a real routine. It felt like we've been kind of flying by the seat of our pants for the last 9 months. And then also taking this time, now that the camper's in storage, taking this time to, we have the opportunity to kind of make the changes or adjustments that we want to make, to improvise that and make it better. So in hindsight, I can see that this 6-month winter spell is actually good. And it was probably necessary for us. At the time, I didn't see it that way.
No.
But I switched my freaking mindset.
It was a little deflating at first, but now that we're
Yeah.
here and kind of into it, and I mean, just getting to this point where we're at right now, we have a nice apartment. Well, we have an apartment.
It's old.
It's very old, but just
heat
getting
waves.
to this point was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like we kind of scrambled. We weren't even sure if we were going to find a place to live, but we're here. We made it work. Everything worked out as it was supposed to. And now that we're here, it feels kind of nice.
It does.
But we've had to change our mindset and really understand that we're meant to be here right now. And we're going to make the most of it. And we are, I feel like.
This has been the year of the pivot. Once I let go of the control or the need to like stick to the plan that we had come up with and to just kind of pivot with what is actually best for us in the moment, things kind of got a lot better mentally. Because initially it did feel like failure. It was like, we told everybody we weren't going to be here for winter, and now here we are. So it felt like we were failing on our own dreams or failing, not sticking to our word. But in reality, we've kind of realized that, or I've realized that it doesn't fucking matter. I don't care what other people think of us. I don't care what other people think of our plan. We're going to shift and ebb and flow, and it's going to change with all of the seasons.
Yep.
And it's okay. It's
not even necessarily that we felt like we've failed. I think what you kind of said it in a way, like, I think it felt like failure because we thought other people would perceive it that way. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like we felt like we've failed or things didn't work out. We were worried, oh, our parents are going to think this, or people are going to worry or say that we're back and we're never going to leave again. Like, that's not the truth. We're here till April, and I am very excited to get back out into exploring and traveling.
Yes.
It's been nice to hunker down a little bit and have some consistency, but I do miss waking up in different areas and exploring new areas and just moving around.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily love travel days, but it's part of the process.
But those even, like at the beginning, those were chaotic. Once we got into a groove, though, where, again, mindset. Do you sense a theme for this frickin' conversation?
No, not at all.
Once we got into the right mindset of like, okay, Wednesday is our travel day for this adventure or whatever, on to the next adventure. It shifted everything for me once I stopped trying to keep the old schedule, or like once I dedicated today is travel day and travel only, because it takes so much out of you no matter how far you're going. Mm-hmm. That's when it got a little bit easier. Like, yeah, things come up or whatever, you got little hiccups, but once you just kind of accept the fact that this day is for travel, this day is not for work, this day is not for catching up or, starting anything new, this day is for travel, getting through it and going as smoothly as possible. We also got really good at, like, the first few times in the camper anyway, we weren't really prepared on travel days for like food and snacks and stuff. Going forward, we made sure to have like all the sandwich supplies and lunch stuff packed near the door, or accessible, yeah. And then to just have lots of snacks for the kids and for ourselves. I think that made all the difference. Shifting things around. Initially, we started tent camping.
Yep.
That's a whole other story. But because of that, and we had so much stuff, the kids all had to be sitting in one row. Yep. And then once we were able to shift things around with the camper, we could move Marley, the oldest, into the back. So they all got a little more space. And I think that really helped too. We weren't all on top of each other.
Yeah.
So it's just been a constant fluctuation.
Yep.
It feels good though.
Being adaptable. But I do miss moving around and kind of planting our flag all over the place.
And having, so I like the space that we have now. I love that there's more rooms for us to all kind of separate into. But one thing that I really do miss actually of this super tiny space is that before we obviously would all get on each other's throats like right away in the morning because we were all just crammed into this tiny place. And it was so much easier for me to just be like, okay, everybody stop what you're doing and get outside. And then like there would be some grumblings, but they would go and they would just go do their thing. Everybody would kind of cool off, separate, do whatever, and like just be out in nature. And we don't have that as much now. Now it's more so like, I don't know if it's because, well, it's colder, but there's not much of a yard or a park right outside.
And
so
we're upstairs.
Yeah.
We're not on the ground level anymore. But
so for me to just be like, okay, I need some space. Like if I go into a room, 3 little ducks just follow me in there. And like, it's just a constant walking in circles. And Malcolm's always just like, every time you turn around, he's right there, just right on top of you.
Yep.
So
it was nice always having a park within a 5-second walk.
Yeah. And just being outside.
Yeah. I do miss being outside, cooking outside, eating outside. Everything was outside. We lived outside, and we were always getting the right amount of vitamin D, and it felt good to always be outside. Like I'm finally kind of getting back into cooking inside, and like it's nice to have an oven and stuff, but I don't know, there was a certain charm about cooking outside, and I really enjoyed that.
The food definitely tasted different.
Yeah.
I smelled the other day when I was out walking, someone was burning something, and I don't know if it was what it was, but it smelled like a campfire. And it kind of hit me that we haven't had a campfire in a long time. Yep. And I really miss that.
Campfires are the best.
I know. So we're finding our groove. What I find the most funny out of all of this, or ironic, is that when before we went to Mexico last April, prior to that, our plan was literally to just Airbnb, figure it out. At one point, we were talking about staying there for a year in a 1-year rental.
We almost did, yeah.
And then right away, we're like, nope, that's not good. Let's try maybe 6 months. And then I think we whittled it down to like a 2-month span right away. And
that was what we initially booked for, was 2 months.
Yeah. So then from there, we're like, okay, we'll do the 2 months. That gives us time to like kind of get settled a little bit, kind of figure things out, and then figure out our next move from there. So initially I expected us to travel around different parts of Mexico and then just keep going to other countries or whatever.
Yep.
Something in us though, was it like 3 weeks in, 3 or 4 weeks in? Something in us was kind of calling us back home or back to the States in a way.
Yeah, it wasn't here, but we missed the United States.
As
crazy as that sounds.
There's different things. And I think the biggest draw was just seeing Grandma. I really wanted to get back and see Grandma in South Dakota, like actually explore places I've never been. So then that kind of incepted the idea of traveling the US, which we thought would just be the Airbnbs. We'll do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then we saw the Airbnb prices in America, and holy shit.
Airbnb is an absolute ripoff.
So that's how we got into, we're like, well, we'll just try tent camping. And it kind of just morphed into like, we started with one tent or one campground for a week. And then we weren't done exploring South Dakota. So we found another campground. And it kind of just morphed into the next campground and the next campground. Like we really weren't thinking more than 2 steps ahead.
No.
We were just going with the flow. And then it got to the point where we realized we really like this, but we need some more stability. We need some walls.
We need to upgrade.
So then that's how we got the camper. But I guess all this long-winded chitter-chatter, what has been the most surprising for me out of all of this throughout this entire year was that we just started putting one foot in front of the other. And we just started saying, yes, this looks good. This looks good. We just followed what made us happy in the moment. And it's gotten us to the point where we realize now we really, right now anyway, we really love traveling with the kids, slow traveling, and we really enjoy the camper aspect. I do want to go to other parts of the world at other times,
Yeah, definitely.
but I don't feel called to do that right now. And that's the most surprising because when we started a year ago, I thought
That's all we wanted to do was
we're
just
going
jump
everywhere.
country to country. I want to back up though, and we keep touching on just like having the mindset of just saying yes. What we mean by that is saying yes to what feels right and in alignment with how you feel.
Mhm.
We didn't doesn't mean we just say yes to everything. We're not Jim Carrey and Yes Man and literally saying yes to everything. We're saying yes to what feels good and taking the time to reflect and really think about, does this feel good? It's not, oh, is it the right thing to do? It's how does it feel?
Mhm.
And I really you said that we kind of just went with the flow and kept going from campground to campground, and that felt really good.
It did.
We
We didn't overthink it.
we didn't overthink it. We were just like, all right, let's book the next one. It's time to book the next one. Oh shit, we have to leave tomorrow. Let's book another campground.
There were
Like-
definitely times, more so in the tent, I think, but it was like every day or every other day where I'd wake up and I'd go, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing with our lives?
Yeah.
But once we got the camper and like we started to find more of a community and meet more people, like-minded people, it kind of really settled in for me as far as like, this is what we were meant to do for this season in our lives. And I really want to get back to it.
Yeah. But this is where we're at now, and we're going to make the most of it.
Oh, for sure.
So
that's a recap on our year.
yeah,
That's been a good year.
it has. It's been amazing. Simply put, I wouldn't change anything about it, really.
Going forward with this podcast, it's not going to be all about our travels necessarily or anything like that. I think the biggest draw or something that keeps coming up for us is like as millennials we've literally gone our entire lives playing the stupid fucking game that society has laid out for us. The game where like they used to tell us, if you graduate high school, go to college, get a degree, start in corporate, follow the steps, get a house, have kids, like you will have made it in life. You will have your 401k, you will have hit all the check marks, and you will be a successful adult. And we're all quickly realizing, or we've always known, I guess, that like that goalpost just keeps fucking moving. And instead, like our whole lives kind of feel like a lie in a way. Like they keep telling us, like, if you do this, you will get this reward and you'll be okay and you'll be safe. And I don't think it has ever felt safe.
No.
Especially the last 10, 20 years. Like, so basically our entire lives. Everything feels, especially lately, everything feels like it's just going off the rails at all points. And there's so much going on that it is so hard to know what to believe, who to believe. Everything's fake, but also things are happening under the radar. And so I think this whole podcast is just kind of going to be about us trying to figure it all out.
We're self-informed.
We're self-informed. We're learning on the fly.
He said it. He said the word.
The buzzword. And yeah, we're grateful to have anyone that wants to come along the journey, kind of learn with us about everything.
We will never claim to be experts on life and how to live because that's different for everybody. But one thing we can say for sure is we're not playing the game anymore. We're not living the cookie cutter life that we were taught to live, and we're doing things our way, and we're doing what feels good and right in the moment. And so far it's worked out for us pretty well.
And we want to inspire other people to live life on your own terms, whatever that looks like for you. You don't have to travel the world. You don't have to even travel out of your own state if you don't want to, but I highly recommend it. Okay. I think that's the end of our conversation. You want to close it out? Because our children are losing their minds.
Happiness looks different for everybody. It, like Samantha just said, you don't have to travel the world to find happiness. But happiness can be in every moment. Walking to the laundromat, going to work, and just choosing a mindset of positivity. I mean, the goal that we have set out on and we've achieved thus far is just be happy.
Just be happy.
And it is truly attainable for everybody. And it doesn't mean you have to sell everything and move to Mexico or Canada or Italy. That's not where happiness is. Happiness is within you, and you can achieve it.
It's also not I don't want it to come off as like a toxic positivity kind of mindset either. Like, we're not pretending that everything's perfect in this world and it's fine and we're all going to be fine. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that no matter what is happening around you, like, you have the ability to change your reality. You could be in the middle of a shitstorm, which we've been in lots of those this year.
Yep.
And but it's all on how, like, you choose to see the situation. We can still, like, I'm not sitting on a beach right now in 80-degree weather down in Florida. We are in the middle of Wisconsin. Winter's about to hit. But at the same time, instead of being sad and depressed, I'm choosing to view this time as the slowdown that we needed. We're going to kind of embrace, like, the, what's that called? The Higgy kind of mindset. Like, we're just the Scandinavian, or is it Norwegian?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. Okay. So we got a lot to learn. But basically, like, we're all cozy, comfy, and we're just embracing it. Like, we're okay with, I love to get outside every day, but we're okay with the days when, like, the weather's too cold. We pivot. We find new ways to just slow down and read all day with the kids, or like
arts and crafts.
Oh, so many arts and crafts. And even like this house. So we're here temporarily, which means we have basically no furniture, no decoration or anything like that. But I've shifted to, since we're homeschooling the kids anyway, we've really started creating our own artwork for the walls. And our home is going to basically just be decorated with...
It's a canvas.
It is.
It's a blank canvas.
A work in progress.
A really old canvas.
But all that to say, you can change how you view any situation. And the more that you see the good and the abundance that does surround you, the more the universe is going to give you more and more abundance in your life.
Things will start to shift.
Yeah. As above, so below. So, just be fucking happy, okay?
Just be fucking happy.
You do you, boo. We will try to make this a regular thing. We're going to speak it into existence.
It is a regular thing.
It is a regular thing. Tune in next time. Once a week, this bad boy is going to drop.
Once?
Twice? How much time do we have?
We have as much time as we make.
Well, that's true. Thank you, YouTube TV. Okay.
Deuces.